Hi everybody, it's Diane. We are going to work in ArtStudio today, create a My Singing Monsters piece. So we are going to work on actually lettering. First thing I'm going to do is insert a layer from photos. Here we go, My Singing Monsters. We're just going to grab that, edit, transform layer, move and scale. Just going to put it down here in the corner so we can actually snag colors from it for the lettering we're going to create. So first thing I do is I usually start with black. Up here in the color box, you'll see black and yellow. If you double tap, it'll switch between those two colors. But we like starting with black, and I typically use the chalkboard SE bold font because they're the big thick letters similar to the My Singing Monsters lettering. Let's do Diane, and I'm just going to do one letter at a time. Then I kind of can mix up small letters, capital letters. However I want. What should we do here? Capital E or small e? Probably small e, huh? Oops. Yeah, let's play with those. So these letters are now on the screen. If I look at the layers button down here at the lower left corner, you'll see each individual layer that I have on my screen so far. I could take these letters and right now they're a font, but I could turn them into an image by going to layer and rasterize text, which means now that last letter I made, the layer, this is the active layer. You see the little blue box. This is the active layer. So if I tap these, that'll make these their active layer. So I'm going to do the N, layer, rasterize. So now I can play with the N. I'm going to edit the N. I'm going to distort, and this is kind of a fun, quick way to just change the letter. Looks kind of crazy, huh? I don't know if I like that or not. Another thing that we can do to distort is filters. Distort, elastify is a fun one for changing our letter too. That looks pretty cool. Let's reset. Okay, so apply. If we don't like it, we can just do undo. Edit, distort. I'm going to make it a little taller, I think. Apply. Let's do the A. We're going to layer, rasterize, edit, transform layer, distort. Yeah, I kind of like that. We're going to do the I, layer rasterize. The I I'm not going to do anything with. The D I will. Now we're going to, so we've made the D the active layer. Oops, cancel. D, see the blue box around it. D is the active layer. So we're going to edit that image, distort. Yeah, I like that. That looks pretty cool. The only thing I'm going to do is get rid of this little piece. Oops, 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 oops. Change the size of my erase tool here. A little bit smaller. Yeah, I like that. So the next thing I'm going to do is merge my letters together. I'm going to merge, I can merge just 2 layers or I can merge all layers. I'm going to just merge them down one at a time. Merge down means that layer goes down to the, I'm going to do that again, merge down, merge down, merge down. You'll find when you put the letters on the screen, they're not as vivid or as opaque as they could be. So I usually copy this layer several times. So I'm going to duplicate. That's this little button down at the bottom where the 2 squares, duplicate, and then merge down. You can also do that up here. Layer, duplicate, layer, merge down. I like using my layer button because I can actually see those layers merging onto themselves. So I do the duplicate button, merge down. I'm going to do it one more time. Duplicate, merge down. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is create the green frame around those letters. So here I'm going to use this color. So if I just hold the button until the little crosshairs come up like a telescope, like a magnet, whatever, a telescope, I guess. Periscope, telescope. So it just snagged that color green. If I press, I'm just holding my finger on the screen and I can, you know, just scroll around and snag whatever color I want to snag, but I happen to want the green color. And so here we are. See, our active layer is Diane. And we're going to go to Filters, Stylize. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Before I do that, I'm going to make 1 layer extra. I always want to have 2 layers of each of my layers so I have a backup and for later use. Okay, now we're going to do the filter. Filter, Stylize, Glow. We're going to do a glow. The opacity we take to 100. Depends on how big of image that you're actually working on, so you'll play around with how large the blur radius is, but let's start with 13. We'll do that one more time. Stylize, glow. This is something that you definitely can play with. It might be too large, but we'll see. Stylize, glow. So then now I'm going to take the blur radius down to 0. And now that's going to just focus on thickening and concentrating the color in that blur area. And sometimes this takes just a few attempts, whatever. We have to just do this multiple times to darken that up. I think we've gotten too wide. So we're going to back up. I'm going to take that blur radius down a little bit. Or we'll make Diane bigger. Maybe we'll make Diane bigger. Edit. Transform. Whoops. Transform. Edit. Transform layer. Move and scale. And here we can do it like this and move it here with the little buttons at the bottom, or we could just use our hand to two fingers to pinch and zoom out the name. Okay, now let's try that again. Filter, stylize, glow. Let's start with 10 anyway. Do that again. And take it down to 0. We can always add a little bit more width. It's just hard to take away. So we'll start with that blur radius of 10 and then down to 0. And now we're at the 0, so now we're just repeat until we have a nice thick opaque. One more time. And then I'm going to do layer duplicate, layer merge down. Just a one more little, make sure it's nice and dark. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more border. Filter, stylize, glow. Maybe like 3. Back down to 0. Layer duplicate, layer merge down. And we're going to do another layer duplicate. Okay, so now we have 2 copies of this lettering. Oh, see that when I merged down, I merged my letters. I didn't want to do that, so I don't have. Let's undo until I get my copy back. Oh gosh, okay. Well, this is an important thing not to do. Oh, way back there in that step. I don't have it duplicated. Okay, so duplicate. Little chains here links these layers together. So when I move one, it moves both. We're going to edit, transform layer, move and scale. That's another important thing to know, how to move your pieces together at the same time. There's Diane. And see how now they're both exactly one behind the other. Perfect. Okay, so let's get back to our glowing again. Sorry about that. Filter, stylize, glow. So we're going to go to 12. Back down to 0, blur radius. I should be playing My Singing Monsters music in the background. Keep doing this until we get this as dark as we want. And I'm going to go and add just a little bit larger border. Filter, stylize, glow. Filter, stylize, glow. Blur radius 0. Okay, let's do filter, layer, duplicate. Oh, let's do it over here. then we can see it go down, merge down. Okay, so now we have one layer of each. I want a second copy of the one we just created. So now I'm going to make the active layer this layer right here, where it's the Diane and just the black lettering without the green border behind it. So I've selected that lettering, and I'm going to go here to select alpha to selection. So it's just going to select those letters. And now I'm going to take that out of one of these layers. I'm going to, the little I means we can't see it. If I tap it, we can see it. Okay. So I've selected this middle layer as the active layer now, and I'm going to edit clear selection. So this is what I've done now. So again, the little I at the side of your, to the left of your layer means you can see it or you can't see it. It's just hiding it off the screen. So I selected, this is the active layer, selected these letters, then I moved up to this layer and chose to clear out the black out of that border. All right, so that's the layer we're at. Select and then deselect so we can get rid of the little lines there. So there's my border. I'm going to start with a little bit of glow, filter, stylize, drop shadow, inner shadow. And here I like to do offset X maybe in like a 2 or 3 negative, offset Y in a 2 or 3 positive. Let's try 3. Let's just see what 3 looks like. Whoops. And this inner shadow blur radius, I want just a small little blur. Let's try that. So that gives it just a little bit of depth and size. And then we're going to switch to black, and we're going to do a drop shadow filter, stylize, drop shadow. We're going to do a normal shadow. Here in your type of shadow, normal shadow, inner shadow, we're going to do a normal shadow. Our blur radius is going to be a little bit larger this time. Maybe 11. I think the opacity, we're going to take that up just a little bit to, yeah, 66. Let's try that. There, we've got a good shadow, but I think the blur radius could be a little bit deeper. So let's undo, filter, stylize, drop shadow. Let's make the blur radius a little bit bigger and maybe a little bit darker. 70, yeah, 73. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so that's our border. And let's look at our, I'm going to hide our border for just a moment. Here's our letters, Diane. We're going to copy. Let's just make it a copy. It's good to have copies of everything. Okay, so here I'm going to do the select, alpha to selection, and here I can spray paint. I'm going to use, I like using my spray paint for that. So I can draw, I can color, I can brush stroke, but I like using the airbrush paint can. And here we can, how opaque the spray is that we're going to spray. I like it pretty opaque up here. And our brush, our spray diameter, probably about there. You can play with that. So I've selected this layer as the active layer, but now I'm going to insert a blank layer. So now when I spray, I'm going to spray on this blank layer. You're going to see it's going to appear. So remember how we can just tap the screen and capture color? So I'm actually going to start with the green. Since we don't have two words, we just have the one word. I'm going to start with the green at the top of my name. And then I'm going to do yellow in the middle. That might be a little bit too wide of a brush stroke. I'll just make my brush. And then orange, dark orange. Oops, I must have slipped my finger there. Okay, let's do dark orange. I could do the whole thing orange too. And then just spray over it yellow. Oh, I should do the whole thing yellow. Oh, you can do this also, bucket fill each letter. You could do that instead of spray painting also. You can also do graduated. You see the, and that would be, let's do this. Yellow, let's pick the yellow and then pick the orange. And then there. Ooh, that looks pretty cool. And then I'm going to add a little bit of green to the top with my spray can. Oh, here. Oh, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, select, deselect. Now I'm going to copy this layer. Let's go back over here. We're going to layer, duplicate, and then merge down. Duplicate, merge down, duplicate, merge down. Doesn't hurt to do this a number of times because my spray painting sometimes isn't as vivid as it could be. So this helps, whoops, make that. So there, I've colored Diane lettering. Let's see what that looks like behind the, ooh, nice. What do you think? Do you like that? I think I want to make my drop shadow a little bit darker and deeper. Filter, stylize, drop shadow. So I've picked the green border and let's just do apply. Ooh, too dark? That does look pretty cool. Let's undo. So maybe we'll leave it where it's at. Yeah, that looks really nice, actually. Looks really cool. Okay, so now we've got part of our name here. Now we're going to, we're just going to hide these that we've been working on. And so here, we're going to work on this one here. The one with the two colors so far, and now we're going to add our third color, which would be the blue on the outside edge of. So just tap your finger and hold it on the screen to bring up the color picker. And now we're going to go do filter, stylize, glow, normal glow, and our blur radius will do 12. 12, apply, Wait, I want to make sure I have a second copy of that. I don't. Okay, so I'm going to do undo, undo. I'm going to make sure I have a second copy of it before I start altering it. Okay, there. Okay, now we're going to do the filter, stylize, glow, apply, filter, stylize, glow, apply, filter, stylize, glow, down to 0. One more time. And now let's make a copy. Let's go duplicate and then merge down. Yeah, that looks great. So we're going to basically do the same thing. We're going to, well, what should we do here? We can do that. Select the Diane below it that doesn't have the blue border, and then we're going to go to select, alpha to selection. Then we're going to go back up to this one. We're going to make a copy of it so we have a copy of it. So it's now my active layer, the copy I just made. And I'm going to go to Edit, Clear Selection. Oops, it's because I have this one visible too. There we go. Select, deselect. Very cool. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of the white layer, filter, stylize, drop shadow. This is where we do the inner shadow again, inner shadow with a small little piece of white. Apply, maybe not quite so dark. Perfect. Yeah, let's do our border, our drop shadow. Filter, stylize. Maybe not. Maybe we'll want to. Let's think about this. Let's do our drop shadow on the second one, the one below it. Filter, stylize, drop shadow. Oops, I bet it's inner shadow. Yep, got to do normal shadow. There we go. There. Okay, so let's move Diane, our colored. That goes above there, and now this one goes above that, and there we are. What do you think? Ah, that looks really, really good, don't you think? Diane. I actually love it. So that's basically how we create our name in My Singing Monsters lettering. Looking at it now, I think my green border should have been a little bit thicker and my blue border a little bit thinner. But nonetheless, I think it looks really great. You get the idea. So this is the ArtStudio for iPad. Some of the things that I'd been working on this weekend, I created a few little Twitter pictures for Twitter for a few people using the idea of what I just showed you, how I made my name in monster lettering. I made some Twitter home pages for a few friends on Twitter this weekend. Monster Explorers, a lot of you know Monster Explorers. So I created this was the several layers that I did, and then the final result. And then I changed the lettering coloring for something a little bit different. This is their icon, their thumbnail. Here's their home page. And then I made their name using the monster behind it. Oh, this was my Diane that Furcorn had in its mouth when I went to visit Big Blue Bubble in 2015. And I took a picture of it and then cleaned it up and created this with little humbug behind it. Turned out pretty darn cute. All right, you guys, enjoy. Go play My Singing Monsters, or go get ArtStudio for iPad app and check out playing with art a little bit and creating some fun things. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.